Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1969, the premier sports show about local high school sports, featuring coaches, players, and special guests. Now, here is your host of the Saturday Sports Line, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowen.
Out of bounds play underneath the basket. Dump off the Piper Lake. She gets the and one to go. I love out of bounds plays, man. Those are fun. And we are back here on the Saturday Sports Line, the longest running high school sports show in Indiana. I am Mitch Columbi, proud to be continuing this tradition. We have our very own sports analyst, Chris McGowen, in the house. Good morning.
Good morning. You having trouble with the old microphone over there or what? What's going on?
Well, it's a little loose right now. I'm working on it. It's a good thing we don't have a camera in here. People be like, what in the heck is going on with these guys? Well, we got a lot going on today. It's a jam-packed show. We're going to have close to all of our area girls basketball head coaches on the air today. But first, I wanted to bring up wrestling regionals is going on. Of course, North Judson, Winamac, Culver, Knox. Some regional wrestling is going on today. Good luck to all of our area wrestlers. We hope it's a great outcome today. Also, girls swim sectionals is today. So, hey, it's already the end of winter season already. I can't believe how fast time's flying. We're already talking about baseball and softball here in the next few weeks. It's crazy.
Well, when football season lasts as long as it did, it kind of makes the winter season a little shorter, seems like.
I mean, it really kind of makes the year go by fast because football season ended in mid-November, and here we are,
right,
beginning of February. It's pretty crazy how things have worked out, but here we are, and we see several of our area boys basketball teams in action. The Tri-Township Tigers take on South Newton in the historic Tiger Den. 4 p.m. Central is the scheduled start time. The Oregon-Davis Bobcats boys basketball team hosts Bremen in the Bobcat Den. 6:30 p.m. Central is the tip-off time. The South Central Satellites boys basketball team is on the road today. They will start a 3-game road stint at Whiting tonight. 7 p.m. Central is the tip-off time. The Winamac Warriors boys basketball team starts a 4-game road trip on the road tonight against Westville. This afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Central. Good luck to the Winamac Warriors. The Knox Redskins are also in action this afternoon on the road. Hey, everybody's going on the road here. The Knox Redskins start their 4-game road stretch against Twin Lakes today. 1:30 p.m. Central is the scheduled tip-off time. Also, the North Judson-San Blue Jays boys basketball team, they're on the road against Boone Grove. 12:30 p.m. Central is the tip-off time. We'll talk to both Joe Eskridge and Kent Chezem in this hour. We switch over to girls basketball. The West Central Lady Trojans had a fantastic season. They unfortunately fell to Caston in round 1. Of course, we've talked about Caston. They're just one of those teams that they've been good all year.
Yeah, they've been very solid, and I think they're still ranked in the top 5 in Class 1A. You know, they suffered a couple losses, but you're going to have that. But again, a very good 1A basketball team in the Caston Lady Comets.
But a great season it was for the West Central Lady Trojans, 13-9. We're going to talk to head coach Tyson Mellon at the bottom of this hour, so stay tuned. He will button up their season. Hate to lose like they did, but what a great season it was, and we want to make sure and notice that. The Culver Lady Cavaliers, a tough year it was. They unfortunately fell to Marquette Catholic this past Tuesday in round 1 of their sectional. Of course, they're hosting that sectional. You probably heard that game on our other station, KVB's WYMR, with the boss, Tony Ross, on Max 98.3 FM. We always appreciate him getting me scores from Doug Griffiths along with Scott Masters. Always love listening to Scott. He just brings great energy to a broadcast. But tough loss for the Culver Lady Cavaliers. They finish off their year at 4-18. The Knox Lady Redskins unfortunately fell this past Tuesday on the road against Rochester for opening round sectionals. 48-35 was the final. They finish off their year at 7-17. We will talk with head coach James Adcock in the second hour. The Oregon Davis Lady Cats had the bye for round one. They took on Marquette Catholic last night. You heard it on Max 98.3. 66-44 was the final as Marquette Catholic moves on. The Lady Cats finish off their season at 6-14. We'll talk with Coach Lehiy later on in this hour. The Tri-Township Lady Tigers, man, what a sad way to end it. Fell to Morgan Township 36-34. The greatest regular season team in Lady Tiger history. You can't take it away from them. They finished the season off at 21-2. We'll talk with Chris here in just a few moments. And then the South Central Lady Satellites, also a big shocker. They fell to North Judson-San Pierre on Tuesday. We were there for it. 39-36 was the final as the Lady Jays beat the Lady Satellites. As the Satellites finish off their year at 16-7, we'll have head coach Ben Anderson on in the second hour. Speaking of the Lady Jays, not only did they take care of business on Tuesday, they turned around and took care of business last night against South Bend Career Academy. 70-6 was the final. They've punched their ticket to the championship round tonight. That's where we will be, in the nest, to see the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays take on the LaVille Lady Lancers for the Sectional 34 Championship. We are going live at 5:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We hope you join us, as we've been approved by the IHSA for this. We are sending our very own sports analyst, Justin Ruff, to North Miami so that he can give us live and up-to-date reports. I gave him the microphone. He'll plug right into us, and we will get live updates throughout the ball game from the Winamac matchup. Of course, the Winamac Lady Warriors beat Pioneer last night. That's where we were, 41-27. They are in a sectional championship, so they are taking on Lewis Cass. Tune in tonight. You'll hear the Lady Jays broadcast play-by-play as well as updates throughout the evening on the Winamac Lady Warriors, our final two area teams. Still in contention. We had a chance to talk with head coach Tony Stesiak last night. Here's what he had to say.
I'm feeling great. I mean, you're playing on Saturday night in Indiana and girls basketball tournament. If you're playing on Saturday night when the tournament's going, it's a really good night.
It is.
And I've been around long enough. There are 0 style points. I knew it was not going to be anything like the first game. They're well coached. They play hard. My emphasis was on the defensive end. I did not want 10 and 20 to beat us. Anybody but those three. Anybody but those two.
Well,
and I think mission accomplished. We had great shots in the first half. We just didn't make them. But I loved the shots. We made just enough to keep it at arm's length. That was important. I never necessarily felt threatened or, I didn't think about losing and just, hey, we're just going to have to grind this one out. Like, I didn't care. I didn't want to play up and down. Like, you're trying to win this game, but you also have to think about tomorrow.
Yep.
And I didn't want to run us up and down the floor, and it's a low-pace scoring game. It didn't take a lot out. It was not as physical as Wabash was on Tuesday.
Now you move forward. You get the job done tonight. What was the message in the locker room preparing for tomorrow night?
Let's get out of here as fast as we can. We'll tell you the plan tomorrow so we can get to bed. Right?
No kidding.
And it's a long week. There's no doubt about it. We have the harder path when you get to that point. But on Saturday night, anything can happen. So the first thing is to get some rest. Let them sleep in a little bit. We probably won't come in till we'll do a walkthrough probably later. We won't come in the morning. We really need to rest. The good news is Cass isn't an up and down team either. If we would have played North Miami, I would have been concerned about wear and tear of really being up and down the floor and those athletes they have. Cass has really athletes and they're really well coached. They're a better team than North Miami, but their style matches up with us, and I bet Coach Amor would say the same thing about us. Our style helps probably them out. So knock down, drag out Saturday night. Let's see, Elton John Saturday night's all right for fighting.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to fight for a championship, and there's 100.
That's a great song.
There is 128 teams that will play tomorrow night, and we are one of them. And,
you are one of them.
We won a championship over Christmas, and I said, I'd like to get Lady Warrior back competing for championships. We won one at Christmas, and we're in the position to win one tomorrow night. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it's a great experience for the seniors to play in a sectional championship, for all those returning players. However tomorrow night shakes out, this has been a tremendous experience this week.
Hey, talk about the players that stepped up tonight. I know, just on top of my head, Marissa Iverson had a heck of a game in the interior. Who else stepped up for you tonight?
Well, you got to look at the starters. The starters all did their job. We knew we had an advantage inside, but they also had to worry about our guards. That's why I worked so hard about about making us deep and versatile to make teams have to guard us. Let's be honest, we didn't have to guard all those Pioneer kids, and they had to guard us, and that was the difference.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but we worked hard to be in that position, and they're a really young team.
Right.
They remind me, hey, good job. They remind me of where we were last year. A new coach and a lot of young players, first varsity experience, very familiar. And we took toe-to-toe with North Miami last year, but we came up short. It feels very similar here. They played strong, but we made just enough plays. So we'll give it a shot and figure out again. It's just 1 point better. 11 to 10, 111 to 110. I don't care.
We'll finish up with this. I always think back to the first interview of the season with you. Is you said, "Hey, this isn't the first time I've gone through this. It's going to be an up and down roller coaster." You said, "Who knows?" Because it was at the beginning of the season. Yeah. I said, "What's the goal?" You said obviously the goal is to be playing for championships. But you said at the time, who knows? It's Indiana high school basketball. You said if you could figure it out, you'd sell a book and become a millionaire overnight. Are you writing the book?
No, because we've had enough head scratchers. I learned this year too. The minute you think you had it figured out, I thought we had it figured out, and then we played Knox. It didn't go well, and then we lost to Triton. So January's been rough, but February's really good now.
Yeah,
well, Coach.
Hey, you realize this? This is, I don't know if any other team could maybe say that, but we played on Halloween night, and now it's February. We will play a game in 5 months. October, November, December, January, and now tonight was February. We've played a game in 5 months on the calendar. That's crazy. I'm tired, but I'm not tired enough to show up tomorrow night. Neither are our girls.
Coach, thanks, guys. Tomorrow. Yeah. Congratulations.
Tomorrow,
go get them.
Yep, thanks.
Go get them.
Thank you.
That's head coach Tony Stesiak last night in the Collins Insurance Agency's post-game show. We appreciate his time as, we're going to be there for him. We're sending Justin Ruff down there at North Miami. He is going to bring us updates throughout the broadcast as we will be in the nest. But the Winamac Lady Warriors beat Pioneer last night 41-27. Now they take on Lewis Cass tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central is the tip-off time. We hope you join us for a great broadcast tonight. Now we transition to the Tri-Township Lady Tigers with head coach Chris McGowen. Probably a lot of listeners have been waiting for this interview here, Chris. 21-2, what a season. And no one else in the area won 20 games. I don't know the last time the Lady Tigers, they've never won. Never. So, there was a lot of work that went into the offseason preparing for this, and to only lose, once through the regular season, that's impressive. And I know that you had a lot of positives that happened throughout the year, and it just didn't end the way you wanted it to. And I've told you this before, had the same thing happen to me my senior year. So I know exactly how you're feeling right now, Chris. It takes some time to process it. And as a player, we didn't talk about it. I think it took a couple years for, as the group of brothers we were, to talk about that night. I can only imagine what that locker room was like.
It was sad. A lot of tears. But I told the girls after the game that, this is disappointing in how it finished. But when you look back at the big picture, and what the three senior girls that are leaving the program, what they've been able to accomplish over the 4 years, and just the records that have been set the last 2 years by this group, it's too numerous to actually sit down and write.
It's almost too much that you did.
Yeah, and to take time and this is gonna hurt. I'll probably never get over it.
Yeah, you won't. I still haven't.
Right, and. It's just, it's one of those things, but, don't be sad that it, I think Coach Drook probably summed it up the best. He said, don't be sad that it's ending, but be happy that it happened, that you were able to experience what you guys were able to experience this year and years past. But again, you got to give Morgan Township credit. I knew it was going to be different than the first time we played them. We did a good job taking away their number one, Peyton Hanchar. If you'd have told me going into the game that we were going to hold their leading scorer to 4 points, I'd say we win by 20. But the game plan was to take away Hanchar, which we did, take away Josie Lemons, which we did. The other Lemons, she's the one that got us. She came in and had a career night against us and popped off. But again, we came out kind of flat. give Morgan Township credit. They came out and with an intensity and a fire that took us a little bit to get warmed up to. But, after the first quarter, we pretty much controlled the game for all of it except for the last 3 seconds. Had an opportunity, had the ball tied 34-34 with, maybe a minute 45 left on the clock. We run the offense all the way down, get a wide open three by our best shooter. Misses it. Jade Pryor gets the offensive rebound, hits Sydney Hudson underneath the basket, gets fouled. So we have an opportunity with less than 10 seconds to go to actually score 5 points. Missed the three-pointer, missed the 2 free throws. And then we had it's a scramble drill. We had fouls to give. I'm screaming foul because we had fouls to give just to try to make them have to take the ball back out of bounds and try to make it hard for them to advance the ball up the court.
They didn't hear it.
But again, it's just one of those situations. It's a scramble drill. It kind of goes back to us losing against Washington Township. I had people, blowing my phone up. Why didn't you call a timeout? Why didn't you call a timeout? Well, it's a scramble drill. It's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Because the defense and we ended up basically leaving the girl underneath the basket. We had the ball stopped, and we decided for some reason to come up and try to double team the ball. And to give Honchar credit, she ended up had her head up and saw the girl. Now we actually ended up getting a piece of the shot, and it still ended up going in. So that's the great thing about Hoosier hysteria. It sucks that it happened to us, but on the other side of it, that's what makes Indiana basketball so great. Was the fact that the girl that ended up hitting the shot was the first shot she took all night.
That's just how it works.
That's how it works. And and give her credit. I mean, she was Johnny on the spot where she needed to be, and we had a little bit of a mental lapse there defensively, and that's what happens. But again, we had opportunities to win that, and I went to the games last night, and I tell you what, Morgan Township, after what they did to Washington Township last night, beating them 58-32, and Washington Township's a very good basketball team.
Right.
I don't feel as bad after watching them dismantle Washington Township last night. As a matter of fact, it made me feel pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Because I realized, and if I get in trouble for saying this, I'll pay the fine, but it made me even realize even more how damn good of a basketball team we were.
Yeah. No, absolutely. My mom always said you don't want to lose to the losers.
Right.
If you're going to get beat, they better be good.
Right.
So good for Morgan Township to take the next step. But I got to ask, when we talk about your team, you've got returners. This wasn't when you hear about a team that goes 21-2, wow, they must be packed full of seniors, starters top to bottom. That's not the case for you.
No, we, I'll talk about the 3 seniors here real quick. We'll start with Mackenzie Schultz. She was, for the most part of the year, was the 6th man off the bench. Probably didn't play as much as she would like. But again, just had a great attitude, was able to come in certain spots and then actually knock down some key 3-pointers, can shoot the lights out when she gets going. But again, just a great attitude and a great girl to have on the team. The 2nd senior I'll talk about is Addie Gorski. Addie actually is going to graduate as of right now. Currently, she's 3rd all-time leading scorer in Tri-Township history. Wow. Behind Justine Charlesworth and Jade Pryor, who's only a junior.
Wow. Yeah.
So, again, pretty good company there. But Addie's going to graduate as of right now as the 3rd leading scorer in Tri-Township history. So a great career to be proud of. And then the last senior, Miranda Wozniak, who for 3 years ran the show, was the point guard. But then with the graduation last year of Avery Hendrickson, we moved her to a wing. And she didn't have to handle the ball as much, but just a great leader. For all 4 years, has led us in assists. So I'll have to go back through the record books and take a look and see where she's at record-wise when it comes to assists, because she might be right up there at the top as one of the leaders career-wise. So, again, just a great group of girls that came in and I'm not going to beat around the bush. There were high expectations for this group.
Yeah.
They were really good in junior high. And this is where we thought we were going to be in 4 years with this group. So even though we didn't win the sectional, that was a goal of mine. We still gave this community and this program something to be proud of, and something for the future Lady Tigers to look up to.
One thing I think that's interesting about this show is it gives an opportunity for the coaches to button things up on the seniors as well as the season. I would have loved to hear what my head coach had to say about that tough loss. We didn't have a show like this. So, not to toot our own horn, but the fact that we can get you in here to talk about this season, I know it was an anticipated season with all the hype and and what you had expected out of them. Just to hear what you have to say is a very big deal.
Well, and then the other thing I told the girls too, this is going to hurt. And I told them, I said, I'll never get over it. Cause you're always second guessing yourself. But, I told them, I said, the one thing you're going to learn is tomorrow morning when you wake up, the sun's going to rise, and you got to get up and you got to get out of bed and you got to tackle life just like you would, whether, it doesn't matter. I mean, things are going to happen, and not everything's going to be good. Not everything's going to be positive, but it's how, everybody's going to get knocked down, but you don't lose when you get knocked down. You lose if you stay down.
Yeah.
And, so, it's a life lesson, and I think, we're all going to be better from it. Myself included. And, again, we've got, the cupboard's not dry at Tri-Township, and, we're looking forward to getting ready for next season already.
All right. It seems like we were talking about that just the other day for last year. Is your sixth season, when you look back at the 6 years there at Tri-Township, does it seem fast?
No, it's been a blink of an eye. We're going to have here probably in the next couple of weeks, we'll have our exit interviews. I'm going to have a staff meeting, see where we are there, what adjustments we need to make, if any. And, again, get ready, get the summer planned and see what we're going to do and see where these girls want to go play this summer.
Well, I appreciate you talking about it and button up your season. The greatest regular season Lady Tiger team in history. Congratulations to you and your team, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back. We're going to talk North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay boys basketball with head coach Kit Chezem. We'll get him on the line. That's after the break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to KVB's WKVI. This is the Saturday Sports Line.
More, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew.
Here comes Sadie Popejoy, the Winamac Lady Warriors. Nobody has scored a point yet. Back up top, Maggie Smith swings it over to Croft, inside to Iverson. The left block goes. Marissa Iverson scores the first points of this ball game. 2:55 to go in the first. It took a while.
Faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Browns. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowen on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for. Hi, I'm Isaac Blue, your ag lender at First Farmers here in Knox and North Judson. Thank you for all your hard work. And when you're ready to talk about taking your ag operation to the next level, come by for a visit. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
You're listening to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowen on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Back at the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, we are transitioning to talk North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay boys basketball with head coach Kit Chezem. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Great. Glad to talk to you today.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a game this afternoon on the road against Boone Grove. Do you like afternoon games?
You know, I was talking to one of our assistant coaches. In college, I always loved playing the Saturday afternoon game. I thought it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, it kind of brings back some old memories for me.
Yeah, 12:30 p.m. Central's the scheduled tip-off time for Blue Jay Nation. I know they need to get out there, but I'm sure you've been preparing for Boone Grove. What have you seen?
They're really athletic. They press a lot. They remind me a lot of the Rensselaer team that handed us a pretty big loss a few weeks ago. In fact, they beat Rensselaer at home. So, we've hopefully figured out some things against the press and half-court trap and that sort of thing, and we'll be able to execute a little bit better today.
Yeah, when we saw you the last time, it looked like you guys handled the pressure a little bit better, and also I like seeing Connor Benson and of course Quinn Bales. The fact that they're able to play through what they've had to deal with the last few weeks. I feel like it's showing the other players on this team their leaders are not giving up on them, and they're fighting as well alongside them.
Yeah, we've had to have some other guys step up. Connor got hurt again in that Triton game and wasn't able to play after he played about 4 minutes, and then he's playing at far less than 100% right now. Quinn's still out, but that's been some opportunities for some other guys, and Josiah McDaniels really stepped up for us. Xander Nowak came off the bench against Pioneer the other night, and I thought he played great. So you gotta like to see a freshman do that, as well as Logan Pradke. So we've had two freshmen play quality minutes, which have our other seniors been 100%, maybe they don't get those opportunities. So it's been a struggle here recently as far as the win-loss column, but I do think we're getting better and we're making some progress.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. You're on a little bit of a slide here, 3 losses in a row. Mentally, where do you think your kids are at right now? Are they starting to press a little bit and starting to feel that pressure, or are they still loose and have an upbeat attitude?
No, I think we've had good practices. Of course, practice time is shortened a little bit right now at this point in the year. But when we lost at Winamac and Triton, I felt like we made some real mental errors and didn't handle late game situations very well. The other night against Pioneer, another overtime game, I thought we executed fairly well. I mean, we were down 1 with like 24 seconds to go and ran an out-of-bounds play, executed it really well, took the lead, and then basically got beat on the last-second shot with about 5 seconds to go on the other end. And it was a tough shot. I think we executed fairly well at that point in the game. Maybe not earlier in the fourth quarter. We were up 4 or 5, and we turned the ball over a couple times. Things that were kind of unforced. So we're making progress right there at the end of the game situations, and I feel like those things kind of even out as the year goes on, and we get better at being in those kinds of situations.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at the 3 losses and double overtime, and overtime. So getting a lot of experience there in a short amount of time. That's for sure.
Yeah, and again, some young kids are getting to play in crunch time. That's only going to be better for us. So, I think our kids are upbeat. The one thing I will say about our group is they are competitors, and it doesn't really matter what sport, or if they're playing cards, or if they're playing ping pong or whatever. They all want to win, and that's just kind of the way they are. And so, heading into the game today, our backs are up against the wall a little bit. It's going to be tough on the road against a team that's pretty good, but I know our guys are going to battle for sure.
Well, I think, I've seen Boone Grove play twice. I think, and I've seen you play a couple times. I think it's a matchup, though, that serves you guys pretty well. When you look at the matchups across the board, I think I don't think they're going to be able to handle your physicality. That's for sure.
Well, I think, that's what we hope. I hope we can be a little more physical than them. And we haven't really dominated the glass like we were earlier in the year. So that's something that we got to get back to today. And we got to get that inside game going. But again, they pressure the ball and they try to turn you over. And, if the score's in the 60s, it may not be in our favor today. So we got to be able to control tempo and control the speed that we play. Not that we're slowing it down, but we just don't want to get in a helter-skelter game with those guys. And hopefully we'll be a little bit more disciplined today.
Yeah, you're in a stretch of back-to-back away games, Coach. With the adversity that you and your coaching staff are dealing with, have the goals changed from where we talked a few weeks ago?
No, I mean, no different than just heading into the season this year. The standard is the standard around here.
Yeah.
And, and we really haven't been playing up to that here recently. And I guess you could make excuses or have some explanations, but we don't do that. Nobody cares. You look on the John Harrell site and you see the scores and you see the tight losses, and you don't get to put an asterisk on there and say, well, Quinn Bales didn't play in those games. Nobody cares.
Right.
It really comes down to the fact that, and I've said it before, we got to get more and better shots than the other team, and there's several ways to do that. But if you take care of the basketball, you take good shots, you keep the other team out of transition, you contest every one of their shots, you're going to be in every ball game, and we have been in ball games here recently. We just got to learn to close them out.
You talk about closing out, Coach. This is one of the final 6 games of the year. Can't believe it. What is the message right now to the boys in finishing off the season?
We're just trying to get a little bit better every day. I don't think that message has changed. We're going to compete every night, and we're making some adjustments. And our kids are, the younger kids have gone through some growing pains here recently. But I really like the direction that we're going and the way that they're really competing. Like a kid like Xander Nowak, I mentioned a little bit ago, he came in and really changed the complexion of the game the other day. Here's a freshman who hasn't played much, and we really struggled in the first quarter, and we were down 8 or 9 after the first quarter. He came in the second quarter and played outstanding and just gave us a huge lift, and I thought he got the tide turned a little bit for us. So when you see that from a young kid like him, it's got to make you feel good about what's ahead of us.
I got to ask you this, Coach. What's your work-life balance like? How are you able to put basketball aside when it's time to come home, or do you not?
Well, my wife and I, we manage pretty well. She likes it when I think, she doesn't always like the time I spend on basketball, but at the same time, one of these days when I retire, she might regret.
Why is he always here?
Yeah. But, I think it really starts at home. And when my kids were at home, we just have always been a basketball family. And, to say that I really work at it, yeah, but it's a labor of love. I mean, I'm a competitor at heart too. And I want our kids to have the best opportunity to win. And I want to create an atmosphere that's fun and in an environment that teaches them how to be better people and better basketball players. So, it's just really a lot of fun, the work-life balance. I don't have a ton of hobbies, so I can spend a lot of time on basketball, and it's what I enjoy.
You don't do wood carving for a hobby?
Well, believe it or not, I do a little woodworking, but that usually gets put on hold during basketball season. We wait until the off-season for that.
I was a lucky guess, Coach. I'm pegging you pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad.
Well, Coach, good luck today against Boone Grove. We hope it's a big-time Blue Jay win, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. That is head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays, Kent Chezem, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break and come back. We're going to talk Knox Redskin basketball with head coach Joe Eskridge. That's on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Sometimes late when things are real and people share.
Lehiy pops a big-time three.
It just takes one, Mitch.
Lois Lehiy stepped into a wide-open three. The Lady Panthers take a 1-point lead. It's 3-2 here.
The perfect prize that
McKay. Sadie Popejoy on her. Back over to Lehiy. 3 on the way.
Here we go.
My goodness.
It's a party.
Back-to-back threes.
That he didn't already have. And cause never was the reason for the evening or the Tropic of Sir Galahad. So please believe in me when I say I'm spinning round, 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 round. Smoke, glass, stain, bright color, image going down, down, down.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for. Hi, I'm Isaac Blue, your ag lender at First Farmers here in Knox and North Judson. Thank you for all your hard work. And when you're ready to talk about taking your ag operation to the next level, come by for a visit. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. It's time now for more local sports talk from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Back for more here from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. It's the Saturday Sports Line. Mitch Columbi, we are talking with head coach of the Knox Redskins, Joe Eskridge. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Just terrific.
Well, I can tell you are because you picked up a big-time win since we last talked. You beat West Central 76-33 on your home floor. That's 2 in a row right now. You have an opportunity to go 3 in a row now on the road. We talked a little bit earlier. I mentioned this is the first of 4 games in a row on the road. And I know coaches in the past have told me, when you start a road stand, it's very important to get that first game and staying focused. You take on Twin Lakes this afternoon. 1:30 Central. What do you know about Twin Lakes you can share with us?
They're a good team.
Yeah.
They got some guys that can shoot and really play. Coach Adams, has been there forever, and he's good, so he'll have those guys ready, and we'll have to be ready ourselves.
What's something you can share with us? It's been a few games, I think, probably since the Judson game on the 20th of January. Since that time we saw you, what growth have you seen from this team, or anything positive?
We're starting to get a little bit more consistent. Like we've talked about all year, is putting those full games together. So we're closing that window, game by game, getting a little bit better of more good stretches, being disciplined, offense and defense. Not letting something on the offense affect the defense and having a mental lapse there, cutting those down a little bit. It's getting better in practice as well. So, we're just going to keep working and working on that to hopefully we have it, where we want it to be come tournament time here.
Man, you look at your February. You already know where I'm going with this. You look at February, 9 games packed in 1 month right before sectionals. It's just crazy how many games you're going to have to play here in the next few weeks, Coach. Of course, I'm sure you love that, and I'm sure the kids love it too. What has to go on the backside? We heard from Kent Chezem. He said at this point he's starting to cut practice times down a little bit to conserve energy and such. How much does that go into the thought process of coaching staffs? When you look at your schedule, you know how long you're going to be out, how late of a night it'll be, the turnaround practices. What goes into preparation and how long or how hard to push the kids?
Yeah, so sometimes it's cutting the time down or adjusting the things that you do in practice where it's not
running all the time.
Yeah, maybe when it's Monday, Tuesday, and you got a game on Saturday. We're doing a lot more working on the full court stuff, and then the other times, maybe we work on shooting and those things, So, yeah, I mean, yes, you have to obviously, take those things into consideration.
Weird question. What's your favorite drill to run at practice?
I don't know if there's a favorite one. We have several that we like to work on. Like these, that these drills, they really translate into what we want to do. I tell you, the guys, we have like a 3-on-3 continuous that they love. We put the clock on, and they just kind of play 3-on-3. You gotta get back and stuff.
Wow.
But because it works on about everything, fast break, transition, defense, and those things. But myself, I mean, I don't know if they're all important. So it's I don't know, you rank one above the other.
Sure. I always liked 11-man. That was my favorite.
Yeah, the guys, they like that one.
I like 11-man. That was fun. I always wanted to, whenever coach blew the whistle and said 11-man, everyone rushed to the spots. We were so excited. Coach, at this point in time, you're getting ready, like we said, for these road games. What has to happen during this stretch of games? You won't be at Harold Weinberg until the 13th. That's 10 days from now. And in between that time, you're going to get these 4 games in: Twin Lakes, Pioneer, Tippecanoe Valley, and then Oregon Davis next Saturday. Right now, what is the main focus for this team?
I mean, just that, what I talked about, and that's what we talked about last night. Hey, at the end of practice last night, there's still some of those things that, we still need to improve upon. And then we go and, and the message is, what's a better opportunity is out here against Twin Lakes. You got to go out there, we don't have a lot of practices. So, and really, I mean, we have the philosophy that regular season games are, I don't want to sound whatever, but are glorified scrimmages.
Sure.
These are things to prepare for the end of the year. So I mean, that's where we go in. It isn't like, okay, practice is separate from that. We got to take these things in practice and put them into the game. And then, if it's something that, hey, we didn't get to spend enough time on, well, you got to focus on that and do that. And then, that's that, and that's a practice for the next game. And the next time that situation comes up,
you're prepared for it as well. So let's talk this. How are you health-wise?
We're good. We have Jake Conroy, who's out. He ended up having surgery to repair his shoulder last night. They said it went really, really well, and they look for him to have a normal, complete recovery. So I mean that's good news. He's just a great kid. Unfortunate injury, just such a hard worker and a great teammate. So we miss him, but I mean obviously we're happy that he's got that situation get taken care of, and he can start that rehab and get ready for that next season he's got.
I was about to say, is that probably done for the season for him then?
For basketball, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least he jumped on it and got it taken care of. He's a junior, so he's still got 1 year to go. Talk about some of the other players on this team. I said it last week. We talk a lot about Caleb Schwant, Jay-Sean Tinsley. We talk about Miles McLaughlin, and then you just mentioned Jake Conroy. We've talked about Nolan Short. Some of the other guys on this team that maybe don't get talked about enough. What are you seeing from them in practice you'd like to shine a light on? And
again, the one guy, and he seems to be the Rowan, yeah. A lot of the things he does, the dirty work. Sure. And those are things that don't really shine in the scorebook or in the highlights and stuff. But I mean, he's so unselfish and works so hard. So it's hard to not mention his name when with this team. He's a just a wonderful attitude, and here lately, Logan Taylor. Yeah, he's an energy guy, man. He comes in and he's been able to come in and really bring that energy, defensive intensity, and it's getting better and better as we go. So that's something we're happy to see. And here now, I mean, Dirk Huff, who's I think kind of making that transition now. He's starting to dress and do some things, attitude and things more consistent in practice, and he's starting to maybe work his way into a varsity rotation here as we start to close out the season. So yeah, there's some good things going on.
A lot of basketball going on for the Knox Redskins. What's your message to Redskin Nation? I know you need them for this 4-game road stretch.
Well, like myself, get out there, get on the road, and get to Twin Lakes because we're heading out here soon and support these guys that work so hard.
Hey, Coach, good luck tonight. I hope it's a big-time Redskin win, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. That is head coach of the Knox Redskins, Joe Eskridge, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to talk Oregon Davis Lady Cat basketball with head coach Aubrey Lehiy. Then to finalize things in this hour, we're going to talk with West Central Lady Trojan head coach Tyson Mellon. Don't go anywhere. The Saturday Sports Line continues.
Imagine smoking weed in the street without cops harassing. Imagine going...
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Now let's return to more of the Saturday Sports Line with WKVI Sports Director Mitch Columbi.
Near corner, Sadie Pope Joy for
Here we go. Here we
Splash! Big time shot. 5-3, 2-point ball game for the Warriors. And we are back from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. This is the Saturday Sports Line. Mitch Columbi, along with sports analyst Chris McGowen. We've got head coach of the Oregon Davis Lady Cats, Aubrey Lehiy, in the house. They had the bye for round one. They took on Marquette Catholic. Tough loss last night, 66-44. But the Lady Cats, we've talked about it for a long time now. Very young is this team. They've got a very good nucleus growing together right now. So let's talk about them. Head coach Aubrey Lehiy, talk us through what you saw last night in Marquette Catholic and maybe some positives that the team learned.
They're a very good team. And our girls came out and played really hard. I think they were a little shocked after the first quarter. It was tied 12-12. The first time we played them, we lost by 40-plus points, and they weren't expecting to come out and have a battle. When we competed, I think the biggest thing for us, it came down to offensive rebounds. We gave up too many of those, and we just got tired. Only having 12 kids, it's hard to run kids in and out, and 3 or 4 of them need a break, but you only got 2 on the bench, and that was just one of our downfalls of the game. But I will say one thing that our kids did is they never gave up, and the best thing about it was every official that we had came up and made a compliment of our kids sacrificing their effort, and no matter what the score was at any point in the game, they continued to play hard, and that's what we ask of them every day. Just make sure when you walk off that floor that you know that you gave everything you have, and for our seniors, I think they made sure they gave everything they had just to get them that one more game, and unfortunately we just came up short.
Well, I know that it didn't end the way that you and the girls wanted it to, but what was the message to them in the locker room, especially to the underclassmen or to the ones that are going to be, still on the team or still coming out next year? What was something that you said you can share with us in the locker room? Like you said, we're a young team, and we lose 2 seniors. One of them was out for the entire season with an injury, and Reagan Danford, but we lose Maddie Wireman, which will be big shoes to fill. She was a leader, whether it was in practice or on the floor, and we'll have to have someone step up in that position. But the girls, they work hard. They,
we have the same team pretty much coming back, so they understand what they're doing and who they're playing with, and we'll have those incoming freshmen coming in. Coach Lehiy guy's doing a really good job with our junior high, and Brian Ernest with our lower levels, and being able to work together with some of those other kids and get in the gym, not when it comes October, but starting to get in the gym as soon as we can, and making sure that we're coming out next season and we're ready to go. And the main thing with them was just there was fight the entire way, and we went into that, and I'm sure everybody thought it was just going to be another game where it was a running clock, and we didn't let that happen. And especially in that first half, I think Marquette was a little shocked at what was happening.
Sure.
And hey,
this
what's
isn't
going
the
on?
team
Yeah,
we saw
what's
earlier.
going on? That's exactly what you want. And I told the kids that, you made them second guess what they were doing, and I can't fault their effort at all. And we always want to say we want to leave it all on the floor, and they absolutely did that last night.
I know it's a journey not only with the team but also the coaching staff, and you have a very interesting situation. You get to coach alongside your sister. Talk about what that means for you as well as the rest of the coaching staff.
We always said it's a Lady Cat family. I was talking.
And don't forget about that ball guy that's just down at the end of the bench.
Yeah, keep him under control sometimes. No, it is a family, and I was talking to one of the radio guys last night, and I said, growing up, I was always the little sister or the sister to all the Lady Cats that were playing, and now I'm the mom. They're all my kids, and it's kind of crazy to think, but it's a surreal thing. Like, the different things that you might think you're worried about. You're worried about points and rebounds and wins, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you're worried about them being successful outside of basketball and going into the real world, and people looking at them and say, hey, you played on the Lady Cat basketball team. I can tell by your work ethic, or the way you're able to lead, or whatever it might be. And I think that's a testament to our kids, because they buy in, and they work hard, and they listen to what we have, and they take it in. And sometimes we go back and we have to look at different things on film and kind of show them exactly what we mean by what they're doing. And they continue to learn, and they continue to work hard. And having a staff, I got Lexi and Dad, obviously related, and then Jamie Herford, who is also related, but then you go down, you got Lehiy guy as our junior high coach, and Brian Ernest, as our elementary coach, and they're very involved in the community as well. So it's just nice to have people, supporting staff, that's able to also come in and help, because I'm a one person, and the athletic director, I'm trying to make sure all the kids are getting everything they can, because we want the best for every Bobcat in that school, but to be able to have help from the others to make sure that our program is successful and our girls are getting everything that they need, it's wonderful.
I know you're a very busy individual, also being the athletic director, but when the basketball season ends like this, does that open space for more work to be done in the athletic department, or are you still busy from start to finish? I mean, does this open up some relief a little bit? Not to say not coaching basketball is relief, but you get what I'm saying. Does this give you any help?
I think my husband Ben is very happy. He hasn't to be as much of Mr. Mom. He helps me out a lot. I can't thank him enough with that. But it doesn't stop. Any athletic director will tell you that. It's a full-time job. You want to make sure you have the best for your student athletes, and whatever you can do to make that happen, you do it. Whether it's going to a competition, a spell bowl competition for them, or going and whether if they're in the hospital for an injury or something, going and checking on them. It's a full-time thing, and wouldn't have it any other way. For myself, I grew up at Oregon Davis. From the point I was born, I was in the gym and running around in the halls, and my kids are doing the same thing now, and they're able to look up to all the kids. They come in after school over to the high school where I'm at, and they're going in and giving high fives to all the kids, walking out, the high schoolers. So it's a neat experience. It is a family atmosphere there. But we have great coaches over there at Oregon Davis, and we've got great student athletes and administrators. We all work very well together. And while I would wish to say that it slowed down, I'm not doing the after school practices, but there still obviously is more.
Well, one thing I've noticed talking to you the last few interviews that you do a good job bringing up is, yes, you want to win. Yes, you want to, get to the state, do all those things and be a champion. But at the same time, you're still molding young minds to be good young adults in the workforce, just like you said a moment ago, so that when they get hired, they can say, oh, I remember you. You played on an Oregon Davis Bobcat team. We know what that means, and we know how tough it can be to play for a team like that. And it's almost like, you're coaching the game of basketball, but you're also coaching the game of life in a sense.
Absolutely. I mean, you hope to see those kids as they get older and just see all the things that they accomplish. I mean, on just my team that I played with back in the day, you've got doctors, you've got nurses, you've got teachers, you've got lawyers. I mean, they go out and be successful, and I think part of that comes from the drive and the dedication and, the work ethic that we put into them as far as getting the best out of them and knowing what their potential is and not allowing them to stop until they reach their goals.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people that don't appreciate sports understand is, there's a schedule that's involved. It's teaching kids to get places on time, and if they're not, guess what? They're running.
Right. They love that word, running.
And so, it's things like that even, people like my own dad who doesn't really understand or care for sports, look what that taught. Look what that taught me. It taught me to be on time, get there early, be prepared, stretch, warm up, do work ahead of time before the job starts. That way you're ready to go. Those are things that basketball taught me. So I appreciate you coming in here and talking with us, Coach. Your exiting message to Bobcat Nation who may be listening.
We appreciate all the support that they have given us over the season. We're a young team, but we're going to come out next year. We're going to start getting in the gym, as soon as we can, give them a little break, but, come back ready to go. And hopefully we're able to continue with this Lady Cat legacy. And we appreciate all the support.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you for your time. And you won't be a stranger. I'm sure I'll see you throughout the next few months. Of course, spring sports is already here. I can't believe it. But thank you for your time, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right. That is head coach Aubrey Lehiy of the Oregon Davis Lady Cats. Tough way to go out, but they have a bright future, and they've got the coaching staff on their side. We're going to take a break and come back. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Coming up short, and they dig this now. Even though you need a golden calculator to divide.
The defense was trailing and caused problems for Croft. She's going to pounce on the floor, steal it back to Maggie Smith now. Smith up, and she gets it to go.
I love it.
18-13 with the help of Maggie Smith.
A little bit closer, see, roses really smell like boo-boo-boo. Yeah, roses really smell like boo-boo-boo.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for. Hi, I'm Isaac Blue, your ag lender at First Farmers here in Knox and North Judson. Thank you for all your hard work. And when you're ready to talk about taking your ag operation to the next level, come by for a visit. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. Listen for more insight in local high school sports on the Saturday Sports Line. Here's your sports director, Mitch Columbi.
And we are back from for the Saturday Sports Line. This is Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. We have a chance to talk with head coach of the West Central Lady Trojans, Tyson Mellon. We've got him on the line. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Well, we've been following you guys throughout the season. Of course, you do a good job on social media of letting everybody know what's going on. What a great season it was for you guys. And, we talked last year. You were going through some growing pains. You worked on it through the off season, and you really turned things around, Coach. 13-9, a winning season for the Lady Trojans. And from that post on social media, I know how proud you are of this team. Tell our listeners how proud you are of them.
Yeah, they did a great job this season. We haven't been blessed with a lot of depth over the last 4 or 5 years, and you don't realize how much that plays into a game or a season when you play, six guys or 5 sometimes a night, and when you can play 8 and not really drop off a whole lot, it makes a world of difference. And credit to our seniors for sticking with it. They've taken their lumps over the years and never really got too discouraged. Softball is most of their sports, and they kind of just play basketball, for fun or to hang out with their friends. But they really enjoyed this season. So.
All right, Coach, let's go ahead. Before we talk about the future, let's go ahead and talk about the seniors that you're saying goodbye to.
Yeah, first, Annika Smith. The last several years, she's been our leading scorer and leading rebounder. Great athlete, 5'6", plays in the post, and you would never, look at the stat line, you'd never think she was that small inside, but she held her own. She's a tough kid. Definitely going to miss those points and rebounds next year for sure. Next, Mara Sharp, point guard, our leader in practice as far as setting the tone with just her hustle and diving on the floor in practice, and just sets the tone for everyone. Talked to her, the day after sectional loss, and I said, Maura, this was your best season ever. And she just had this huge smile on her face. And, that's what you want, to go out as a senior, to play your best season, both record-wise and statistics-wise. But, going to miss her for sure. And then Brooklyn Mellon, probably the, least athletic of the seniors, but puts in more work than any of them in the off season. And again, she had her best season ever. She's one of those kids that, is always in the right spot. Defensively, she helps out the younger kids in practice. And from a shooting standpoint, this was her best season. But big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill next year.
Well, but I tell you what. From the what I'm hearing on the street, though, your junior high program's pretty loaded, Coach. So some things to look forward to there at Trojan Nation.
Well, there's a young group that's put in a lot of time. Our freshman class has put in a lot of time.
Yeah, your freshman group's pretty good too. Yeah,
so there's and how it is. You just have the right pieces. You have good guards, you got a good inside game, and especially in the middle school level, you just have good guard play, and you can win a lot of games in middle school. But high school is a lot different. There's no guarantee, that's gonna transfer over, but just depends on how much work people want to put in, over the summer and continue to get better.
I'm sure this isn't the way you wanted it to end, Coach, but when you look back on the season as a whole, what is something or maybe a few things that you're really proud of?
Oh, man. Obviously, when you draw cast in the first round, you don't really look forward to that draw.
Yeah, no.
They're pretty good. I had some regrets. We didn't press Faith Christian. We didn't press Tri-County in our conference, and I felt like I maybe played it too safe. And you never want to have any regrets. So we had a different game plan going in against Caston. That didn't work out too well either. But as far as the season goes, you look at the schedule at the beginning, you think maybe we can win 10 games or so, and then to pull out 13. We had overtime against Judson, who's in their sectional finals. Tri-Township lost on their home court, by 6 or so. They had a great season. Those close games, those are the games that you remember because they were fun to be a part of. And we had more of those this year than we have in the past 4 or 5. So it was just a great season.
Talk about the coaching staff. I asked this question to Aubrey Lehiy a little bit ago. Not only is it going through a season with the team, there's ebbs and flows, but also the coaching staff is its own thing. Talk about the coaching staff and what you guys went through and what you appreciate from them.
Jeremy Glassford's been, we go to church together, and he's been part of the staff since I took over, and we think a lot of the same ways, and he's good at pointing out, some things that we need to adjust to, during the game or at halftime and things like that. So I really appreciate him. And then Annie Scholes and Tyler DeMoss came on this year. Their kids are freshmen. Madison DeMoss and then Katie Scholes were a big part of the rotation this year. And they've been a part of that middle school, as they've come up through elementary and middle school. They've always been a part of that team. So I just felt it was important to have them on staff and on board. And, they didn't necessarily know what to expect. High school season is a lot longer. You start in October and end here at the beginning of February, and middle school season is a lot shorter, a lot more condensed. But they did a great job in practice. They have good connections with the girls. Tyler's a teacher at West Central, and we've got a success period during the school hours, and he was able to bring the team in on game days and just have a little bit of bonding time with them. And we have at the end of the season, we have an interview with each kid, and every single one of them said they enjoyed that time together. And that's what it's all about. Building bonds, building memories, and hopefully win a few games along the way.
Something I always remember from this season, Coach, actually before the season started, was when we had a chance to talk to you at that West Central, I believe, Winamac football game. Chris and I got a word with you. And, in that interview, from what I remember, you basically were saying, hey, we're ready to take the next step. We want to have a winning season. And you laid out the goals for this team. And now you fast forward to today. In my opinion, you did that. 13-9, a winning season. You took the next step from the year prior. And it just seems like what you guys had done in the offseason in preparation for this season, it just really is heading in the right direction. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I asked the kids and the parents too, because they're a part of it just as much as anybody else. They all want to have a winning season. They want to finish in the top 3 of the conference. Our goal is always to compete for that sectional championship. And so when you look back, you hit those goals or maybe even overachieved a little bit. And that's what you want. You don't want to ever underachieve. You always want to go out with that mindset that we accomplished something this year. So,
well, Coach, what would be your exiting message to Trojan Nation?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting these young ladies. Looking at that final home game, and the stands were pretty full. I mean, it was similar to a boys game, which we haven't had a crowd like that for a long time. And that means something to the kids. That means something to us coaches who've been around a while and seen the ups and downs. So just thank you to everyone for your support and come out again next year.
Coach, I appreciate your time today. My final question I meant to ask you earlier, how special has it been to you to be able to coach your daughters?
Oh, man, you want me to cry on the radio?
Sorry. Well, I think it's pretty cool, Coach. I think that is a pretty cool thing. And then, you like you said, you have to say goodbye to Brooklyn, and then Sydney's still around, right?
Yeah, yep. Sydney's a sophomore, and those two are pretty tight, best friends, at home, and it'll be interesting to see how Sydney navigates the next year or so without Brooklyn around. But I love basketball, and I obviously love my kids, and it's just great to be a part of their high school careers. So couldn't ask for anything more.
Well, good job this year, Coach. Keep it up. You're heading in the right direction, like you said, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you guys for covering us this year.
Oh, absolutely, Coach. Wish we could do more, honestly. Appreciate you.
Yep. All right, thanks.
All right, that is head coach of the West Central Lady Trojans, Tyson Mellon, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break. We're going to the second hour Athlete of the Week interview with Kyleigh Lehiy. The North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jay basketball player is up next, so don't go anywhere. We're going to talk with her, and then we're going to talk with head coach of the Lady Jays, Whitney Combs, in preparation for the sectional championship game tonight. Don't go anywhere. This is the Saturday Sports Line.
Not just time that I'm killing. I'm no longer one of those guys. As sure as I live, this love that I give is gonna be yours until the day that I die. Oh baby, I'm gonna love you forever, forever and ever, amen. As long as old men sit and talk about the weather, as long as old women sit and talk about old men, if you wonder how long I'll be faithful.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
It's time now for Hour 2 of the Saturday Sports Line with your host, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowen.
We are back for more from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. This is the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line. It's time to talk about our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, junior from North Judson-San Pierre High School, Kyleigh Lehiy. Kyleigh has had an amazing season for the Lady Jays basketball team. She has averaged just over 12 points per game and is grabbing just under 10 rebounds per game. She also leads the team in steals, averaging just under 5 snags per game. It's safe to say this award was long overdue. And without further ado, here's my sit-down interview with North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jay, Kyleigh Lehiy. All right, I am with our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, Kyleigh Lehiy. Kyleigh, the way we see you play basketball, I got to know, what is it about this sport that you love?
I just love being on the court in general. It's everything about it. Offense, defense, everything.
Yeah, when we see you out there, it seems like you have a knack for getting the ball to places, maybe to some teammates. Talk about some of these teammates. What's it like playing with these girls?
Most of us have this connection. My connection is definitely going to be Kyleigh Tunis. She's our freshman. She's so good. Reagan Hensley, she's our shooter. She's really good. Anna, we love her. She's always supporting us. Whatever. If she's not in, she's definitely, you can tell she loves it.
It almost seems like this is a family. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. It's definitely family. I love this family.
Talk about the coaching staff. We have a chance to talk with head coach Combs quite a bit. Talk about the whole coaching staff. What's that like playing for them? I love it. I mean, they're husband, wife, obviously, and then Kyleigh, she's our JV. They all support us. They every day at practice, it's the same thing. They just support. When you started the season, did you see yourself averaging, 12-plus points a game and just right under 10 rebounds a game? I like to call you a walking double-double. Did you kind of see that being part of your repertoire? Absolutely not. I wasn't ready, I feel like. But, as the season, went on, I just progressed into it. Sure. When you started realizing you were becoming the leader of this team, how did that feel? It felt awesome, but I also wanted others to be able to do stuff, so it just felt awesome. And then now we see Kyleigh Tunis, like you said, stepping up like this, and just a freshman. I mean, it seems like as time went on, this team just got better. What was going on in these practices throughout the year? When you look back the whole season, what do you think was the catalyst for why this team just kept getting better? We worked harder, and we started focusing more at practice. We used to just goof off, not listen, but once we started getting our heads into, practice means, how you're going to play in a game, we just fused together. You go into the postseason and take on, a really tough South Central team. You had a tough time with them earlier on in the year. And, a lot of people were saying South Central was the favorite. You come into this as the underdog, and we know anything about Blue Jay Nation is they love that. They want to prove everyone wrong. You guys had the chance to do that this past Saturday. For us up at the booth, it was an amazing moment. What was it like for you down on the floor? It was so awesome. I felt ecstatic. We were down 7 at halftime, and we knew throughout the season we've been down, but we came out with the fire and we just brought it to them. One thing I've also noticed about your play is sometimes you're not looking to score first. You are also defensive minded. You'll track down a stolen possession and steal it back or block from behind. You're smiling when I bring that up. That must be more fun for you. Yeah, I love defense more. I'll be 100% honest. Our defense was what sparks our offense, so it's my favorite. And when you do get in a groove on the offensive end, when all things are just firing on all cylinders like that, what are some of the things that your teammates are saying to you? They get pumped. They're proud of me. They're proud of each other. I feel loved by them, and we're just a family. I love it. What was the overall goal for this team when you started out for the season? I mean, I'm talking before game one, when you guys were in maybe training camp throughout the summer or whatever you guys were doing. What was the overall goal? Our goal is just to be more like a team and a family, and to definitely win sectionals. And now here you have an opportunity after doing such, beating South Central. What's this mean to Blue Jay Nation in your opinion? It means the world to me right now. It means it's awesome. Tell me your mom's name. Cassie Lehiy. And talk about the support system she is for you. Throughout my whole life, she's had endless support, and I just love her for that. She's took me to practice when I couldn't drive. She feeds me at home. Everything. I just love it. Do you like going to school here? Oh, I love it. I love the environment. I love it. It's so good. What's so good about it? Tell me. Just Blue Jay pride. We have so much pride, and I take pride in it too. It's everybody. What does it mean to Kyleigh Lehiy to be a North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jay? Oh, it means the world to me. I wouldn't go anywhere else, even if I had the opportunity. I just love the support, the fans, the crowd, everything. Well, Kyleigh, I appreciate your time. Congratulations on being named our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Good luck this weekend. We hope it's a big-time Blue Jay win.
Thank you.
Big time thank you to Kyleigh for her time. Also, shout out to Athletic Director Mike Sharkozy for helping me set that interview up. As we are going to take a break and come back, we're going to talk with head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays, Whitney Combs. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVR.
I miss you every single day, but you don't even look my way. I really wish you were obsessed with me. I miss you every single day, but you don't.
It's Pope Joy back up top. To Cross, swings it over. Maggie Smith. Splash! Huge three from Maggie Smith, 14-10.
Shooter shoot, Mitch.
Feelings with a bag Louis V. So G, me I tell you run the money.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowen on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
Back from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, this is the Saturday Sports Line. Great interview there from our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, Kyleigh Lehiy. Man, does such a good job for the Lady Jays as they are in the sectional championship round and they take on LaVille tonight. We're going to be there for them, going live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. We've got head coach Whitney Combs on the line. Coach, we talked last night. I know how proud of this team you are right now, but what is the goal this morning? I know you got shoot around. What are you talking to the girls about?
I mean, it's not over yet. Anything can happen. It's tournament time. You know, we have to stay focused and hungry. Get no do-overs, you know. If you don't win, you're out.
Yeah, I'm guessing since we talked last night, you probably had a moment to look at some film from LaVille. What are you seeing from LaVille? Anything different from the first time you saw them?
I mean, LaVille is a very well-coached team. They're going to get up and play really aggressive defense. We have to be able to handle that pressure. I think when we met the first time, you know, we weren't really ready for that. We had a lot of turnovers. We ended up winning by 3 points, but we had to claw our way out of a 12 to 14 point deficit. So it's going to be a battle.
Yeah, absolutely. And you come off a huge win over South Bend Career Academy last night, 70-6, the most points the Lady Jays have put up all season long. You told us in the Collins Insurance postgame show last night that you got some valuable minutes out of your bench players, especially underclassmen that got a glimpse of sectional basketball. Now you have to transition into a game, like you said, it's going to be a battle. When you go from a game that you completely own from tip till the end, and then now a game, what has to change in the mental side of things for today?
I mean, every possession is going to matter. You know, all those rebounds, we have to get all the hustle balls. You know, we just have to go out. We have to play our game. We have to take care of the basketball, and we have to have heart. You know, it's who wants it more. You know, that's what it comes down to at this time in the season.
Coach, when you go up against a team like LaVille that you've beat already before, I'm almost guessing they probably remember that. They don't like losing. What's your opening message to the girls in the locker room when you get ready to take the court for warm-ups?
You know, it's just this is what we worked so hard for, you know, to prove ourselves. You know, we've gotten so much better from the start of the season as a team, you know, and you can see that when you watch us play now as opposed to when you saw us at the beginning of the season. You know, our teamwork is much better, and everyone's really coming into their own roles. So we just have to come out and we just have to take care of business and take care of ourselves first. And then hopefully the results are in our favor.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. I hope that for you guys, too. What's the message from the coaching staff right now? I know you guys are kind of talking with each other. What's something you can share with us that you're hoping we'll see tonight on the floor?
I mean, we always get together. You know, we try to get the best game plan to prepare for the game ahead of us. Coach Combs and Coach Zimmerman, they do so much behind the scenes that, that they don't get a lot of credit for. I don't know. We prepare them. So hopefully we come out and execute our game plan.
I know you're always looking forward, Coach, but we haven't had a chance to really talk about last Tuesday. Man, what a win it was over South Central. And something that stood out to me now that I've had time to think about is the passion and energy that you and your team has, especially the coaching staff. It just seems like it means something more to this team than it may to not saying that it doesn't mean a lot to other teams, but just the passion that I saw from that bench on that huge win over South Central. Talk us through that day on Tuesday.
I mean, it was everyone. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. But, everyone on that bench, they were excited. They were excited. You can see videos of us all jumping down, I mean, we've just worked so hard for it. It just feels so good to be able to see these girls succeed, especially after, they beat us by 22 in the season. Right. So we had a little bit to prove, and I think the girls came out hungry, and I hope that gave them a little taste of, how it feels, how tournament time feels,
Yeah, Terry Minix had mentioned in the post game with us that you guys did a really good job of the full court pressure, and it seems like that is just really where you guys are having a good time of handling the ball, handling possessions, and taking care of things on the defensive end. Is that something that you may see tonight? We may see tonight from the Lady Jays?
Possibly. I mean, I feel like when we press, it helps our offense get rolling. We're not sitting back and waiting. We're trying to make things happen. We'll see. It'll be a surprise, so you have to come out and watch.
I love it, Coach. Thank you so much. I love it. Well, hey, we're going to be there for you. We're going live at 5:30 p.m. Central. We'll get a chance to talk with you and hopefully talk to you on the floor after the game for a big-time sectional championship win. What do you say?
Awesome. We'll see you guys there.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
All right. That is head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays, Whitney Combs, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We appreciate her time. We're going to take a break, a quick one. We're going to come back, talk Knox Lady Redskin basketball with head coach James Adcock. That's on the other side.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere. Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox. Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989. Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Here's more with area high school coaches as we return to the Saturday Sports Line from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios on K99.3.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Line. We're talking Knox Lady Redskin basketball with head coach James Adcock. They took on Rochester for the first round of sectionals. Unfortunately, fell 48-35. It was a up and down roller coaster for head coach James Adcock and the Knox Lady Redskins, but they fought hard. And every time we saw them, they gave 110%, and that's exactly what head coach James Adcock talked about in the postgame. Every time we saw you, Coach, you didn't have a lack of effort this season. I know it didn't end the way you wanted it to, but talk us from top to bottom what you experienced this season.
It's been a great year. I mean, it's been a year of learning. I feel like we came in with a new program, a new idea, some new philosophy, and just trying to build on years' prior success. And obviously, we don't have some of the 6-footers that we've had before or close to 6-footers. So we dealt with some size differences. We dealt with some injuries this year and sickness. But, every team does that. Every team faces some of the same obstacles. And you got to get out there on the floor and play to the best ability. And I feel like we did that a majority of the time. And we fought and we played hard, and it just didn't come across in the win totals.
We were getting live reports from Harold Welter. He was at the game against Rochester, and each report he was telling us, he was like, the Lady Redskins are just not going away. I think you were within 3 at one point in the first half, and he just said they're just not allowing Rochester to pull away. Were you happy with the effort given this past Tuesday?
I was. We tied it in the third quarter with about 4 minutes to go in the third, and I mean, Rochester, they're similar to us in the essence they had low numbers. They have a total of 7 girls play all year, so they're in pretty good shape. And we just continued to fight hard. The difference was they were hitting a lot of their shots where we weren't hitting some of our shots. But the girls never stopped playing. And, and I shout out to Cadence and Ella, 2 of our seniors that were on the floor. And they knew it was coming down to their final 8 minutes. And I told them that as we came into the fourth quarter, hey, we got 8 minutes or we can fight for 32 more. And so they fought to the best of their ability. They gave it everything they had, and they didn't leave anything on the floor. And that's something to walk off the floor proud of, even though the score didn't represent a win that night.
You got some seniors I know you got to say goodbye to. It's always hard. Tell us about your seniors.
Just a great group of girls. Obviously, Morgan Downs, not the year that she wanted, ended up with a bone bruise that kind of kept her out the whole season. She is still in physical therapy even to this week and continuing to figure out what's going on with that knee and everything. So, but you know what? She was on the bench. She was cheering us forward. She was encouraging the girls. You can't ask for much more than that when a girl loses her season, especially her senior year. Cadence Qualls came in, very tough girl. She just she fought mono in the beginning of the season. Wow. We didn't even know she had mono until too late. She passed out on the floor one day in practice, what is going on here? And so then we find out she had mono, and I was just like, man, this girl is one tough cookie, and she absolutely was. Ella Fairchild, again, just consistent all year long. Fighting, she get up there on the floor, give us the best defense she could do. She started shooting the ball.
Yes, we saw,
and she has a nice shot. I wish she would have used it a little bit sooner, but she had a nice shot, and she just had great leadership out there.
Well, now the underclassmen. Yeah. What did you see throughout the season that you like for the future?
I like that they don't quit. Riley Taylor, Preston Messer, they're just, these 2 girls are coming up. I know Preston's a sophomore and Riley's a freshman. Elise didn't play last year, so she's kind of like a freshman. This is her first year back to basketball as a sophomore. Cheryl Barnes came in as a sophomore. She played that year prior. And these girls just kind of came in and just did some awesome things as freshmen and sophomores. I told Presley and Riley, I said, listen, we're not losing anything when you guys come off the bench because you're coming in with speed. You're coming in with some energy that we need. And you love that off your 6th and 7th person off the bench. And so they did that. Cheryl would get rebounds for us. She did exactly. We always put KYP or KYR, know your role, on the board, and so we write that down and say, hey, here's your role. And she went out there and she would do that. We played Winamac. We ran one of our plays right to her. She hit a layup to go into halftime, and we were down by 10, but that gave us a boost there. That hey, let's look what our bench did, and let's go out there and repeat that in the third quarter. And so we did that, and it's just great group of girls who just love basketball. And we're going to build on that, and we're going to get this program where we're fighting for not just wins throughout the season, but fighting for sectionals and regionals down the road.
All right, Coach, you've had a few days since your last game. Your first season as the head coach of the Lady Redskins. What's the biggest thing that you learned or you're taking away from season one, moving ahead to look to build upon?
I think the tenacity of the girls not quitting has really infused in me the idea of never quit. And we played some teams that really took it to us this year. I think like Rensselaer and Tippy, but the girls didn't quit. So why would we quit as a coaching staff? And you got to learn from experiences like that. And they're not fun to go through. I think every coach has probably been through at least one, if not a couple of those times where a team just comes in. I mean, Northridge took it to us. And, the thing I loved about Northridge when we were in their holiday tournament was that coach came over to me and he just said, your girls just fight.
Yeah.
They just fight. And we got to Rochester and their head coach was just like, your team scares me because they just never quit. And I thought, if they have that kind of reputation, our coaching staff has to have that same reputation. And I believe we do. We haven't taken time off. We've been in practices with the younger groups from fifth grade on up. We've been out there trying to encourage these girls that are going to be future Lady Redskins. And we just want to get out there and build this program from the bottom up and just like, what? You're going to come into this program, and guess what? You're not quitting. There's no quit in us. We're going to get on the floor. We're going to work hard. We're not promising you any success other than the success you bring to this team.
One win that stands out to me is that win over Winamac on the road.
Sure.
Just a short time ago.
Yeah.
58-48. Now you see the Winamac Lady Warriors in a sectional championship round. So there were signs this year, like you said, you just never gave up. You had some big wins over Andrean, 49-48 in that tournament.
Yeah.
So you've had some bright spots throughout the season that you can carry over. You mentioned the coaching staff. Talk about how much they've meant to you this season.
I really appreciated our coaching staff. We have a husband and wife team, Augie and Paige, and they just, they brought a lot of experience to us. They understood some things that from years prior under Coach Neal's program. I brought in Terry McFarland. She had coached at collegiate level as well as some high schools in Michigan. And she just brought an expertise as well. And we all knew what we're kind of coming into. We knew that we're coming into a 5-win team from the previous season that lost one senior who was a major player in Riley Messer. So we knew we had a lot of work to do, but our girls continued to fight. We brought in some volunteer coaching staff such as Hope Zarnacki, Molly Howard, and Leslie Condon. And they came in, they would scrimmage, they came in, put in input, they came in and tried to encourage the girls, hey, this is what it's going to take, this is how it's going to happen. And that just was huge for us across the season.
Well, now what? What's the next step? You got to take a little break. You got golf now, right?
Yeah, but we're not taking a break from basketball. We're staying at the practices. We'll begin some spring stuff here in a few weeks, give the girls a little bit of time to kind of refocus. I walked away from Rochester, and we lost, but I walked away and I said, you know what, man, we got a lot to build on. We have a great formula for success, and that great formula for success is just building character into these young ladies and allowing them to shine on the floor. And I feel like they did that. And, we had some issues that that no one knows about as far as like in that game. And I'm not talking about like drama, that kind of stuff. I'm just saying we had some health issues. We had some injury issues that we were dealing with that was affecting shots, that was affecting some different things.
Yep.
And these girls didn't stop. They didn't quit. And that's what we're going to do. As long as I'm coach of the Lady Redskins, we're just going to continue to fight. And so, we're going into golf season. We'll have a lot of fun there. We'll do that. But we'll be doing Lady Redskin basketball at the same time.
What's your message to Redskin Nation to finish off basketball season right now?
Hey, you know what? Let's hope for some of our Stark County teams. I know North Judson's fighting for a sectional title tonight. I know they're our in-county rival, but I always say you can cheer other people's success on, and I hope Coach Whitney and the North Judson team can pull off a victory tonight against LaVille, and so they already did it against South Central. So congrats to them on that on Tuesday night. I say cheer them on. I also say, hey, listen, get ready. We're coming. We'll be back next year, and we're going to come out of the gates, and we hope to bring a lot of wins to us next year.
I love that. That's one of my favorite lines. We're coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time throughout the season. It was a fun year to talk to you more than we normally do, so I appreciate it. And, hey, good luck in golf season and good luck in preparation for next basketball season.
I appreciate you guys, and thank you for everything you do for our county with all sports.
Well, I appreciate that, Coach. It means a lot. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, okay?
You do the same. Thank you.
All right, that is head coach James Adcock of the Knox Lady Redskins. You heard it. They're coming. A lot of work to do, but they're coming. Also, good luck to the Lady Jays tonight from the Knox Lady Redskins. So, Stark County, everyone's behind the Lady Jays tonight for a big-time win over the LaVille Lady Lancers. We're going to be there going live at 5:30 p.m. Central. You don't want to miss it. We're taking a break. Coming back, we're going to talk with South Central head coach of the girls basketball team, Ben Anderson. That's on the other side. Out of bounds play underneath her own basket. Croft gets it up top to Maggie Smith. Back to Croft. Far corner. Three! Splash, baby! And the Winamac Warrior fan base like that one.
Big time shot.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
Back from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, it's time to talk South Central Lady Satellites basketball with head coach Ben Anderson. We've got him on the line. Good morning, Coach. Thank you for your time. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Mitch. I'm doing okay. How are you?
Well, we're doing okay. We saw your game on Tuesday. Of course, we were pulling for both the Lady Jays and the Satellites. Either team we were happy with winning, but man, I was really at the same time very sad to see the tough loss go down at the Nest, 39-36. Such a close game. I know it's tough to talk about, Coach, but just give us the abbreviated version, the rundown of what you saw from your team and what you guys talked about.
Yeah, I mean, the Nets can be a tough place to play. Judson getting a home game for the sectional is nice thing for them, and but that's just kind of how it goes. And I wish we could host sectionals every once in a while.
Yeah,
give us that advantage. But yeah, North Judson's a good team. Coach Combs has done a good job. They've really shown a lot of improvement throughout the season. We had a battle with them back in November. If you look at the score, we won by 20, but the score really was not indicative of how that game went. It was a 6-point game late in the third and 8 to 10-point game midway through the fourth. We didn't really pull away until, really late for it to be a 20-point game. So, even though the final score, back in November was 20, it was not, like I said, not indicative of how that game went. So we knew we'd be in a battle, and we were down a starter in Lehiy Johnson. Lehiy was on a college visit that had been pre-planned, and so we missed her, and that definitely made a little bit of an impact too. Lexiy's a really good defender, and has averaged 6-7 points a game throughout the season. So So yeah, I mean, hats off to North Judson on a hard-fought game. They're really physical. It's a hard place to play, and so hats off to them, and I wish them the best.
Was there anything that they did different from the first time you played them that you weren't that you were kind of maybe shocked you a little bit?
I mean, honestly, not really. Aside from the Tunis girl played really well. For a freshman in her first sectional game. We were a little surprised by that. She put up 19 on the night, and some of it was just being in the right place at the right time. But she's a good little ball player, and they're late in the game. We had a younger girl guarding her, and she kind of just backed her down into the lane about 3 times in a row before we made an adjustment. And, I'd say that's really about the only thing. Aside from that, it was, it's fairly similar. Like, we knew they'd be really physical. We know officials are only going to call so many fouls, and, so you gotta make adjustments and try to play through that physicality. I mean, there were a handful of times where, there clearly, was a foul of some sort that wasn't called, but it didn't change the outcome of the game one way or the other. I mean, it was, it goes both ways, but so no, I mean, nothing crazy different that they did, aside from their freshmen having a really good game. They're just, they're a solid ball club and got some home court advantage.
On a personal note, I think, looking at what you guys graduated last year coming into this year, I think if you'd have been told at the beginning of the year, you're looking at 16 wins, I think you probably would have signed up for that in a heartbeat. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean to disparage any of the girls you had coming back. But again, I mean, for you look at what you've gone through and what you've graduated year after year after year, it's actually a testament to the girls that played this year and what they were able to accomplish, because it just seems like you guys don't ever, you just keep reloading at South Central.
Yeah.
So talk about the seniors and what they've meant to this program and who they are.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked that, and I'm really proud of them. Our seniors this year were Sadie Marks and Hope Welsh. Sadie averaged about 16.5 points a game, and she comes from a long line of basketball players and a great basketball family. Followed kind of in the footsteps of her sister Olivia, so she kind of played in Olivia's shadows in a sense for a while. And Sadie got limited minutes as a sophomore on that 26-1 team, but really became a significant contributor last year, and then kind of backpacked the team this year. Sadie, like I said, averaged about 16.5 points a game. She averaged over 8 rebounds a game, over 3 assists, 3 steals per game. She really just became someone you could absolutely count on, and we wanted the ball in her hands. And our other senior was Hope Welsh, and Hope also had a phenomenal season. Hope averaged about 12 a game, also averaged, about 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals per game. Was kind of our sharpshooter. She shot it really well behind the arc most nights, and Hope is a very smart young lady, and definitely one of her best attributes, besides how well she could shoot it. Just being a smart basketball player and knowing where to be on the court, and kind of anticipating what's coming next. And so yeah, this will be another impactful graduation for the Lady Satellites. But hats off to Sadie and Hope on great careers, and also another great season of Lady Satellite basketball.
Well, Coach, I know you're always thinking ahead. What's next now?
Yeah, I was watching some junior high basketball the other night, and I think it was Thursday night. Yeah, our boys played Morgan Township, and we hosted Knox for 7th and 8th grade girls basketball, and I got to catch a good chunk of that 7th grade game. And tell you what, the future's bright. There are some really good athletes and good basketball players in the junior high program right now. And I think when I walked out of the gym, 7th grade was up 17-3 on Knox in the third quarter, and they looked really good. So I didn't get to catch much of the 8th grade game the other night, but I'll definitely get to see them throughout the season. And so yeah, the future's bright there. We have we'll return. Hopefully Lehiy Johnson will come back and play next year. She didn't play as a sophomore, but played this year and was a big help to the team. Samantha Marks, sophomore, returning next year as a junior. Hopefully, she's just a great athlete. She was our point guard this year and really was met with a lot of challenges and faced off on some of the best defenders from opposing teams. So she really handled it well, considering it was her first year starting, being our point guard. She shouldered a lot as a sophomore, and same for McKenna Welsh, Gwen Mendenhall, Caitlin Duttlinger, kind of Brooklyn Jones kind of rounded out the lineup. So, we'll return hopefully a junior in Lehiy Johnson, who will be a senior next year, and then 5 sophomores on that roster. 2 of which started, and then a third that got, fairly significant minutes. So, I know I say it a lot, but the cupboard still is not bare.
No. And you said that last year, you said that now this year, and I believe you now, Coach. Trust me, I believe you now, Coach. I got to ask you this, though, Coach, just to button things up properly. You also got the coaching staff with you. I know they mean a lot to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Scotty Marks has been a staple in that program, and was coaching even before his daughters were in high school. And Scotty is our rock in a lot of different senses. He's the one that really will get after the girls, holds them accountable. They there's times where they'll roll their eyes about it, but there's a lot of times where they appreciate his accountability and and him holding their feet to the fire and making them work hard. Scotty really has invested in his daughters and the girls basketball program, and so he's been a tremendous help. Along with Coach Beebe, Coach Beebe was a long time and legendary in my eyes basketball coach at New Prairie, and we were grateful to have him on our staff. We didn't expect him back this year, but he volunteered this year, and I basically told him, anytime you're bored, the gym is open and you are welcome. And he showed up a lot. He was there all the time, and he was a tremendous help as well. We picked up Olivia Tolman as our JV coach this year, and Olivia did a nice job. She's a Satellite alum herself. Her sister Lillian just graduated from the program last year, and for a first-year coach, Olivia did a really good job, and appreciate all the hard work of our staff. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, well, and I know you work hard too, Coach. I know you don't like to talk about it too much, but I really don't know how you make it look so easy being the superintendent of South Central and then also the head coach for the girls team. You make it look easy, Coach, and another winning season for you. You do such a good job, Coach. I hope you know that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Well, we're going to call it quits, Coach. I appreciate your time this morning. It means a lot. Tough season, tough way it went, but a great season overall, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
All right. That is head coach Ben Anderson of the South Central Lady Satellites here on the Saturday Sports Line. We appreciate his time. Hey, I wanted to make sure to get this announcement out there. There is a 60-year reunion of the first Oregon Davis basketball team at Oregon Davis today, noon Central. The 1964 team combined Hamlet and Grovertown. They went 20-1 during that first season. They met the last San Pierre team before they consolidated with North Judson in the first game of the sectional. San Pierre was undefeated at 20-0, and Oregon Davis beat them 48-47 back in 1964. Oregon Davis lost to North Judson the next game, as that is going on today. A reunion of the first Oregon Davis basketball team at Oregon Davis. 12 Central today. Stop by, share some stories. We're going to take a break. No, we're going straight to the Where Are They Now segment with Harold Welter. You know him well. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Line.
Stogies I have found Short, but not too
Pops
big.
the three. No good. Air ball right to Piper Link. Her putback's no good. Rebounded by Popejoy. She gets a turnaround putback to go. And head coach Tony Stesiak liked that one. He bangs the hardwood with his fist. He liked it.
And all of their names. And every handout in every town.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowen on the longest running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
It's time now for Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of local high school sports coverage on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Today's program is brought to you by Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox. Now let's meet one of the local high school sports figures from more than 50 years of WKVI sports and find out where are they now.
Well, as we look back on more than 50 years of broadcasting high school sports in the Kankakee Valley here on WKVI, I thought that today on our Where Are They Now segment, we'd try to catch up with where some of the more recent graduates of local high schools are playing sports at the collegiate level. And we found that at Bethel University, Logan Barrett, a Knox graduate, is in his 5th year of eligibility in swimming. Now, you may remember that Logan was the first recruit Bethel went after when they first started swimming as a varsity sport, and he has delivered big time. He's been named as an NAIA All-American as well as a Conference Scholar Athlete, and among his achievements was winning the 100-meter conference freestyle last year. Other local athletes competing at Bethel are Silas Kaiser, a 6-foot sophomore from John Glenn High School, who's a member of the Pilots men's basketball team, and Peter Waldsmith, a 5'10", 170-pound pitcher, is a freshman on the baseball team this year. At Indiana University Northwest, Abby Tomlin, a graduate of South Central High School, is a member of the women's basketball team there. As a 5'9" sophomore, she's averaging 6.1 points per game and is shooting 70% from the free throw line. Of course, at South Central, she was part of 3 sectional championship and a regional championship team. She was the Porter County Conference Most Valuable Player as a senior and joined the 1,000-point club as well there at South Central. A number of athletes from the area are competing at Trine University up in Angola. Olivia Marks, who graduated from South Central last year, is listed as a 5'9" freshman on the women's basketball team at Trine, where she's averaging 2.7 rebounds in her first 7 games. She was also a member of those 3 sectional and that regional championship team for the Lady Satellites. Also on the baseball roster at Trine are a pair of freshmen from La Crosse, Jesse Rhoda, a 5'10", 195-pound catcher, and Caden Heminger, a 6'5", 185-pound right-handed pitcher, are listed on the spring sports roster there at Trine in baseball. And Jonah Barrett from Knox High School, whose brother Logan we talked about earlier about being an outstanding swimmer at Bethel. Well, Jonah is a junior member of the men's golf team at Tri-Township University. And last fall, during football season, Russell Compton, a Winamac grad, and Brandon Manuel, a Knox grad, were both on the Trine football roster. At Ancilla College of Marion University, Kyleigh Saylor, a 5'9" freshman from Oregon Davis, is on the Lady Chargers basketball team, where she's averaging over 8 minutes a game in playing time. And meanwhile, the sophomore from Oregon Davis is listed as a 5'10", 170-pound right-handed pitcher for the Chargers baseball team. And speaking of Ancilla College of Marion University, talking about Marion University, at the University in Indianapolis, Logan Radke of North Judson-San Pierre High School and Logan Schultz from Winamac High School were both listed on Marion's football roster last fall as redshirt players, as was Knox grad Jared Prater, who has played the last 4 years mostly on special teams and was named to the conference all-academic team and as an NAIA scholar athlete. At Purdue University Northwest, Alexis Wade, a South Central grad, was on the volleyball roster last fall as a fifth-year senior. And so she has been playing there at Purdue Northwest for the past 5 years. We're catching up with some of the more recent local high school grads here on our Where Are They Now segment, and we'll continue our conversation after this timeout.
Need a game plan that has your day covered from tip-off to the buzzer? Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox has you covered. Whether you like to start out with a caffeinated full-court press or control the tempo with a Subway breakfast flatbread, Osborne's Mini Mart has what you need. Don't get trapped in the corner with an empty stomach. Call a quick timeout and get 2 hot dogs. Visit Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox at the corner of US 35 and Highway 8 East to guarantee you win the day.
Well, here on our Where Are They Now segment, we've been talking about some of the more recent graduates from local high schools who are or have been competing on the collegiate level. And if you know of any local athletes playing at the collegiate level, let us know so we can catch up with them as well. Well, at Indiana Wesleyan University, Ella Gerhardt, a Winamac grad, is a sophomore catcher third baseman on the Wildcats softball team that's getting underway right now. She played in 10 games last year as a freshman and hit .364, and she's looking to get more playing time this year, and I would suspect that she will. And, of course, the big name on the Wesleyan women's basketball team is Lehiy Frazier of North Judson-San Pierre High School. As a junior this year, she's in her third year as a starter and passed the 1,000-point mark last year as a sophomore. She was All-Crossroads League her first 2 years after being named Conference Freshman of the Year her first year. And currently, she's averaging 19.3 points per game, 6.4 rebounds per game, and is shooting 56% from the field and 82% from the free throw line, leading her team in all of those categories. She was named NAIA Second Team All-American last year and will be looking at more honors before the current season is over, I'm sure. Of course, at North Judson-San Pierre, she scored 2,234 points, and she became the second highest scorer in Lady J history, second only to 1988 graduate Debbie Bolin. Well, that's where a few of our local high school athletes are competing at the next level. And as I said, if you know of others, let us know. We'd like to bring the listeners up to date as these young people move to that next level. Join us again next week here on the Saturday Sports Line for Where Are They Now?
Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of high school sports coverage on WKVI has been brought to you by Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Time now for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winamac High School who died in an auto accident 1 week after his high school graduation. His legacy of hard work, outstanding citizenship, artistic success, and super athletic performance lives on with this award given every week to outstanding student athletes from the 8 schools in the Kankakee Valley. Today's award is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac, and we'll tell you who's earned the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week after this word from Web Printing.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack and signs of all kinds in Winamac is where all of your printing needs can be met. Whether it's paper, garments, or signs, Web Printing is your full-service printing solution. So if you're in need of embroidered or screen-printed garments, tickets or programs for your event, or documents for your business, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack is the place to go. For the quickest service, best prices, and best quality, it's Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac.
Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week for this week is Jack Rodgers, a member of the basketball team at Culver Community High School. Jack is having an amazing season for the Cavs. He has been a standout boys basketball player for our area this season. He averages just over 21 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, and 4.1 steals per game. On the year, he is shooting 42% on the floor, 33% behind the arc. It's safe to say this cat can play. Jack is the son of Esmeralda and Brian Rodgers, as we congratulate Jack Rodgers of Culver Community High School, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Jack will receive a certificate, a history of the award, and a t-shirt commemorating his achievement, and will also be a future guest on the Saturday Sports Line. He will be eligible for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award later this spring, which carries with it a plaque and a college scholarship, compliments of WKVI and the family of Tyler Roth. The Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac. I'll make sure to get with Mr. Rodgers this week, as that is going to wrap things up for us. Another Saturday Sports Line down, but hey, we've got more work to do tonight. The sectional championship round at North Judson-San Pierre High School. We are so excited to be bringing you Lady Blue Jay basketball, as well as updates from our other area schools still in action. That's tonight. Make sure to follow us on social media. We are on Instagram at WKVI Sports, on X, formerly Twitter, at KVB Sports, and on Facebook at Sports to the Max for all Kankakee Valley Broadcasting sports content 24/7, 365, right at your fingertips. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Until tonight, I'm Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, you've been listening to the Saturday Sports Line with Sports Director Mitch Columbi and Sports Analyst Chris McGowen.